Tampa Bay Bucs on the road at the Seattle Seahawks. This is out to 3.5 and most of the books out there now. 44.5 is our total. Man, this Bucs team, there are a few different teams. We talked about the injury situation that's going on in Baltimore. This Bucs team just keeps getting hit over and over and over again. Now this week, add Bucky Irving to the list of guys that does not look like they're going to be able to play. Noops, we know Baker Mayfield plays through everything, but he showed up on Wednesday on the injury report with not only a knee injury, but a biceps injury as well. Again, Baker Mayfield plays through everything, but you don't love your quarterback having a couple of bumps and bruises out there for sure. I like Seattle. I think you do too.
I love Seattle. This is my favorite pick of the week. I'm seeing Seattle -3. It's a little bit juicy, -120 to -125 to get the 3. I think that's perfectly fine. Honestly, I might go in and play some alt spreads as we get a little bit closer to game time here. Once we see what happens with the Buccaneers injury report. Again, Mike Evans is out. Bucky Irving looks like he's probably going to be out. Those are far and away the two most important players to the Bucs offense, besides Baker Mayfield, who is also banged up, who hasn't really looked spry himself the last couple weeks. And this is not a spot. You don't go to Seattle against this Seahawks defense. Again, Seahawks defense, the number one defense by DVOA by quite a bit. The Seahawks themselves overall, the number one team in DVOA so far through 4 weeks. Now, again, just through 4 weeks, but have been really impressive. I love this defense. I love them at home. This just seems like an absolute nightmare spot. Tampa Bay having to travel across the country, east to west, which not as tough as west to east, but still pretty rough for anybody that knows how that could be. I mean, I had the Seahawks as the better team before considering the injuries, before accounting for home field. I thought this would be closer to 4.5, 5. I will happily lay this 3 points with the Seahawks. And again, we'll look for some alts when we get closer to kickoff.
Yeah, no one cares, but this opened here, rogue book 2.5, so I have a 2.5 in the account, but I would play expensive 3 for sure on Seattle. I'm with you. With the current state of the Bucs now, when we're looking at the Bucs in week 10, we might be looking at a completely different team and we might have a completely different idea of who this Bucs team is if they can figure out a way to get healthy. But as they sit right here in week number 5, I have Seattle considerably above them. And so I think this spread is fair. I think that this spread is validated to get on the other side of 3, even with that. And I think that we're looking at a team in Seattle that, Noops, especially after what we saw on Thursday night, do we need to start looking at Seattle for division tickets, for conference tickets? Like, I don't know if there are any badass teams in the NFL this year. We'll talk about one that I think could be here in the next game that we discuss, but so far, and I even put the Bills in that category because the Bills defense is shown to be a little bit shaky at times. Like, I don't know if there's a team where I'm like, I'm going to war with that team this year.
No, I mean, there isn't. Like you said, we'll talk about the Bills in a little bit and their defense, and I think that's going to be a big part of this week. The Eagles, we know, have been less than perfect, just kind of grinding out some of these games. Seattle did lose to Pittsburgh, but not to Pittsburgh. They lost to the 49ers in week 1, but have been really solid since then. And I'm looking at division odds right now. This is after, again, we watched the Rams fall apart against the 49ers last night. The Seahawks are plus 320 to win this division. I don't get that. That's a great bet. That's a bet I'm definitely going to make. Honestly, probably why you're talking.
Yeah, I'm actually I'm writing this down here as well because I'm going to add that to the portfolio. Is the Seahawks in the NFC West? I'm not going to say lucky because you got to go out and you got to win football games, but look, the 49ers are pretty fortunate to have 2 of those wins that they have, and
absolutely.
And so I if you're going to give me over 3-1 on a team that I think is at least currently right now on paper better than the 49ers are, then I'll take that, man. Like, I know it's I know it's crazy for me to be like, yeah, Sam Darnold, I'm going to battle. I like Sam Darnold. And you know what? The advanced stats like Sam Darnold as well. I was going to say the stats like Sam Darnold as well this year.
Yeah, maybe the Kevin O'Connell effect carries through even once you leave. I mean, he's been really good. And like you said, I can't believe we're both saying this on a recorded video that will last forever. Let's trust Sam Darnold.
Seriously. EPA plus CPOE composite through the first 4 weeks of the NFL season. Sam Darnold is your number 2 quarterback in the NFL based off of that. And then if you go to the subjective rankings and what they do over at Pro Football Focus, where they go in and grade every single play, he's third overall in the NFL through the first 4 weeks. And so this is not just you and I who don't have the trained eye that some of these other people saying like, he looks good out there. Like, no, we have people who do have the trained eye along with the advanced stats that are telling the same story, which is, hey man, the Seattle team is really good on the defensive side of the ball. And oh, by the way, you have one of the top quarterbacks in the league through the first month of the season.
Absolutely. It makes almost too much sense. Again, like I said, number one in DVOA, number one in defensive DVOA by quite a bit. And that seems sustainable to me. We thought Seattle would have a great defense coming in, and we've seen that's what happened. Mike McDonald, a solid head coach. Jackson Smith and Jigba, a fantastic wide receiver. And if Sam Darnold can just continue to be above average, let alone as good as he's been, the Seahawks team is probably the third best team in the NFC.